It's time, fight fans and degenerate gamblers. Welcome to the Thick Boys Fight Club, where there are only two rules. Rule number one, always talk about Thick Boys Fight Club. Rule number two, talk about Thick Boys Fight Club even if no one wants to talk about Thick Boys Fight Club.
All right, we are back, guys. This is going to be our breakdown show. UFC Fight Night, Kattar versus Ige.
Yep, and I'm Ty Stewart.
And I'm Nick Westervelt.
Yeah, and what a night of fights. I just want to give a quick shout out before we go into the main card to my boy, Modeski Bukowski. Hey, good win. It was a little weird finish, but, I do think he was winning that fight. And thanks for the easy money, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dog. Thanks for the pick. I like that one a lot. I mean, we'll talk about that here in a second, but, you fall out of the cage. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Poor guy. That door was opened.
Exactly.
It's his fault.
But so a little news for you guys real quick. News out of the UFC today. Dana White gave an update today on Israel Adesanya versus Paul Costa. Just want to let everyone know there is no holdup. So we're just waiting for the fight contract to be signed, and we should be able to make that one official. That will be great. That will be the one I'm looking forward to the next for sure.
Motherfucking barn burner right there. Paulo Costa is going to march forward on this guy.
For sure. Also popping up was Alistar Overeem today. He's going to be slated to return against Augusto Sakai. That should be pretty good. Yeah, that should be a pretty good one too. And then also all I got for you guys, Rose Namajunas says she looks forward to a beautiful display of martial arts with UFC champ Zhang Weili. Can't wait for that one as well, guys. That's going to be a badass fight. I hope they announce that one soon for sure.
Yeah, and guys, you know what? The great thing about that last fight about Rose, because she didn't look so good, was that's going to lower the odds on her, making it more, we might get some plus money on her.
For sure.
I'm looking forward to it.
For sure. All right, so let's jump into the card here, guys. Card fights were amazing. The prelims, honestly, stole the show, though, I got to say. Prelims, all submissions, TKOs, knockouts, only one decision actually on the prelim. Great night of fighting. We got to the main card. We got all decisions, but we'll get into that one. But, yeah, as Ty said, the pick that he gave you guys for a gentleman that he's actually trained with, go for it, Ty.
Dude, he went in there. It was getting a little worried. The gentleman he was fighting was getting some nice leg kicks off. They were just kind of exchanging. And then in the last 30 seconds, shot on my boy. Mo was able to just throw some nasty elbows, which he's actually knocked someone out in that position before. Just elbowed him. The gentleman, I think he was actually just trying to take a dive, saying that he received an illegal blow to the back of the head. The ref told them they were all legal. And then, he kind of argued with the ref a little bit. He went to lean back on the cage, didn't realize he was by the door, fell out of the cage, and the ref called it right there. I didn't think the fight was going to go any other way. The guy was definitely gassing out at the end of that first round.
No, we were coming to the end no matter what, but I just can't. I've never seen someone fall out of the cage before. That's the first for me. I've never seen that. That was crazy. But yeah, that was a great way to start our day off, guys. Won a little bit of money off that one.
Yep.
And then we'll break it down the main event.
Yeah. Now we'll go over everything. Baby. We got ABDUL ALHASSAN 10-1 coming in as the -300 favorite, fighting in the welterweight division against MOUNIR LAZZEZ 9-1 plus 260. Nick, you got this one. Why don't you take it away?
Guys, when I tell you everything that's in favor of going for someone like that, you don't just listen to me. You bet your fucking mortgage payment on it. Like, the stars were there. I told you guys, the dude missed his weight. This is his hometown. Like, how could you not make this pick, Ty? How did you not take the pick?
Dude, like I said, like if I would really like to have had access to some of his more recent fights. Like I said, the only ones I could find were from 2 years ago, because the stand-up that he showed tonight compared to what I saw from his footage in 2017, so that's actually more like 3 years ago. Bro,
exactly.
A whole nother level. This guy
I see what you saw.
Phenomenal.
But sometimes you just got to go with what you're looking at as far as facts.
Look, don't act like you weren't going to shit yourself in the first fucking 2 minutes, bro.
You said where he trains out of.
Yeah,
you
no, hey,
called
like
it
I
yesterday.
said, it was a good pick for the upside. But in that first couple of minutes,
guys, I'll
you
be
were
honest.
not thinking you were going to win that.
I was tripping. I thought, oh, here we go again. It's going to end just the way all this other dude's fights have stopped. And my God, he weathered the storm, and then it was game time. And I mean, it was really game time. I mean, amazing. I don't even think the judges gave him all 3 rounds, if I'm not mistaken, correct? I think they all scored it 30 to, if
I
not,
think
maybe
so.
one of them
Maybe
gave
one went the
gave
other
him
way, yeah.
one gave him one round. But yeah, super good fight, guys. Glad I could call that one for you. I made some money off that. I hope you guys did too.
Yeah. And look, man, I got to say the MOUNIR LAZZEZ, like, just incredible striking ability there. He was really great at mixing up his strikes, using leg kicks, body kicks, head kicks, also using that knee, throwing some beautiful elbows. And let me tell you, those things were ridiculous. He's got a very bright future. Write that name down because, you know, he's going to be flying through the ranks, no doubt.
For sure.
Yeah. And then coming up next, we had in
fight?
the women flyweight division, Molly McCann, 10-2, come in as a -130 favorite, fighting TAILA SANTOS, 15-1, the +110 underdog. I'm just going to take this away because I lost. I got this one wrong, man.
Gave it to you guys again.
Yeah, I went the wrong way. And let me tell you, TAILA just came out. I knew she would be the striker. She dominated on her feet. She worked her with the takedowns, ground and pound. She just looked stronger, faster, and just had more abilities than Molly McCann did. She came in phenomenal shape, which just gives it to Santos even more. Incredible display. I don't know what else to say, man. She just worked that girl.
Oh yeah, I mean, she beat that bitch up, if I may say. You know, you got to look at it like the stat I think that I said is honestly where the fight was 1-2 predominantly. I mean, a woman to have a 6-inch reach advantage, I just think is a big deal. It's obviously, and nothing away from women or anything like that, just the strength, you know, you need when you have a gap like that, you know, to come in and out. Molly just didn't have the speed to be able to handle that, obviously, you know. I mean, Talia was able to keep her distance the entire time, truly. There was a couple times, of course, you know, she got in there and cracked her, but for the most part, I mean, that was where the advantage was, in my opinion. But yeah, on top of that, her ground game, I mean, her takedowns, man, my God.
I actually do want to say, I think the biggest factor that I saw, now that I'm really rethinking it, was definitely that tie clinch, dude. Because after she worked her with those knees, you would see Molly would lift her leg up. Like, she would engage in a clinch, and then immediately she would just lift her leg up to defend herself because she was so terrified to be kneed again in the stomach. It was, I could just see, like, she was eventually just became afraid of that.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of upsides, obviously, for TAILA. But yeah, I mean, but those takedowns, man, brutal.
Yeah.
We're not just getting taken down, getting thrown on the ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
pretty impressive. Yeah,
oh, man.
Really impressive, no doubt. But then we went on to our featherweight bout featuring my boy JIMMIE Rivera, 22-4, fighting CODY STAMANN, 9-2-1. Rivera came in as the -135 favorite. CODY STAMANN came in as the +115. I do believe he ended up at -105 by the time the fight started, though.
No, I saw it right before the fight started. They both finished at -115.
Oh, so they evened out. Okay.
Yeah, so for regular folks, and that probably was -110. So yeah, it evened out really right. Is like, but this was literally 30 seconds before the fight started is when I saw it, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. So, you know, a lot of people were seeing value on CODY STAMANN, as I did. You know, once again, though, guys, I have to listen to myself and the facts that what I say, you know, I'm usually pretty correct on this stuff. Not trying to pat myself on the back, but just when these guys have a quick turnaround on top of it, it never seems to really work out. And I've said this time and time again, as we've seen now here. Now, honestly, JIMMIE Rivera was the better fighter tonight. No doubt about it. He had Cody's number in just about everything. Standing up, poor Cody had no chance, though, for sure. I mean, JIMMIE just outstriking him, outlanding him, and hitting him with some pretty nasty shots. Cody tried to go to his wrestling there, and even that honestly kind of started to fall apart a little bit on him. You know, had some very good technical things happen, but JIMMIE even had some even more technical, you know, things that happened when they were in the clinch and whatnot, of just getting it turned around on the cage and whatnot. I mean, Jimmie put on a good show, and got the decision win, and he's back in the win column. What was he, a 3-fight losing streak?
No, he lost 3 out of his last 4, but he was on a 2-fight losing streak. But like we said before, yeah. Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan, probably the number 1 and the number 2 guys in the division. And like I said, Jimmie looked fantastic against Peter Yan, and that was really the deciding factor for me. His speed, his strength, everything about him is just really impressive. Unfortunately had to step out for this fight. Really bummed out. I'm definitely going to go back and watch it, but I'm just glad, I was finally able to pick one up on Nick, get it a little bit closer, but I'm really happy for the guy. I really look forward to seeing this kid's future. He's really an exciting fighter in my mind. Yeah. Well, he's definitely back, so that's good. Yeah. Coming up next, we had Tim Elliott, -135 in the flyweight division, fighting Ryan Benoit, +115. Benoit. Yeah, sorry. That's right. Ryan Benoit, and +115. This was a great fight. Really fun to watch. Tim Elliott, he's a really awkward style of fighting, but just creative, different. It just kind of added some really cool elements to the fight game. Ryan Benoit was definitely your more standard technical boxer, was really trying to find that one shot to put Tim away, but he did a great job I think he was just outworking him with volume was really the thing. What did you think, Nick? I was actually I thought we had, to be honest with you, before they announced it, I thought this was going to be one that we both got wrong. I actually had Ryan winning the fight. I do want to go back and watch it. It seemed to me that Ryan had won 2 and 3. I know 2 was very, very close, obviously. Right. But yeah, and Ryan walked out a little upset. So I believe he was truly thought that he had won the fight too. Tim was wearing it more. Maybe that's just what I kind of saw, But yeah, it was a very good fight. It was super close. Just like you said, Ryan was trying to box. Tim really wasn't having it. And yeah, Tim's just his unorthodox style really had, I think, Ryan like a little off of his game in the start, which really helped him. And then to the mixing in of the takedowns, again, it's like I talk about, guys. You got to be a full mixed martial artist, and just having more tools at your disposal and using them just gives you that slight edge. It's just that one extra thing you're doing to make yourself look better in the eyes of the judge. And honestly, those things are probably what helped Tim win. If you're just going to box and you aren't really looking dominant, and this other guy is keeping it close, but also mixing in some takedowns here and there and pushing you up against the fence, it's not going to look good for them. Yeah, for sure. But hey, we got the win. Doesn't matter what I thought. Exactly. Only matters what the real thought is. Exactly. Got the victory. Got the win for you guys. Hopefully you won with that pick as well. And congratulations to Tim Elliott, man. Coming off he was on a 3-fight losing streak, so really good for him. He breaks back. Yeah, for sure. And Ryan Benoit is going to need a big win in his next fight. He's got that's 2 in a row he's lost. There we go. But moving on to event. 2 contenders, we had Calvin Kattar -300 fighting in the featherweight division against Dan Ige +250. Nick, why don't you start? Yeah, this fight I think went kind of just about the way we thought it would go. Calvin here, just stronger and bigger guy in my opinion. No doubt about it. Dan is very skillful and he's a great fighter. He just doesn't have the size, I think, to compete against these guys. I don't know what he should really do at this point. I know everyone's going to say I'm crazy because he was on a 6-fight winning streak and whatnot. But, I think the problem is we're talking about a winning streak he was on when he was fighting lower level guys. Poor Dan, I think when he gets above these, top 10 guys, he's going to have a problem like this nonstop is what's going to be an issue. I mean, Calvin, honestly, just was outworking him. The round that he lost, we were kind of discussing it earlier for a second. I just thought the only reason he truly lost the round was it was like he just kind of fell asleep for a second and just was like, I'm only going to hit, back up. It wasn't as nearly output that he was putting on the rest of the rounds, which is why he won all those rounds. And I mean, my God, they were both, though, I got to say, got to give credit to Dan, though. Definitely hit Calvin with some shots. Hit him with some big shots as well. I mean, Calvin was hitting him with some shots, but the counter punches from Dan were like, oh my God. Like there was a couple of times I thought he was going to drop him.
like hit him in the chin. I remember in the first or second, and I was like, oh God. I mean, but you know, couldn't drop him, unfortunately for him. Which I think just goes down to his size. You know, he's a small dude.
Yeah, it was look. Either way, it was a great fight. I got to give my hat off to Dan Ige. He made it a lot closer than I thought it was ever going to be. I thought for sure he was going to get finished. Look, Calvin Kattar, the one thing I would tell Dan is like, bro, you're fighting this guy at his specialty. You're fighting this guy in a boxing match, and this dude is murking guys.
Yeah.
Given that just shows you how good Dan Ige is with his boxing. Really clean. He was getting some great counter punches going off, and I think that's kind of what's made Kattar a little bit more hesitant in that second round, like we were talking about. Dan was hitting him, clipping him with a couple good ones, and I think, you know, Kattar felt him and was just kind of like became a little hesitant, a little worried, stopped doing his volume, like Nick said, went to the corner. The corner told him, look, man, made that a close round. We need that volume, bring up that pace so that you can really break him. Because after the third round, man, it became all Kattar. It was just him working him. But given Dan really did try 7 attempts at the takedown, didn't get one of them.
Oh, my God.
But, you know, like they said, that's from Kattar fighting Zabit Magomed-Sharipov, right? That guy's an elite level wrestler, and so he knew, because he wants to fight him again, that he has to improve upon his takedown defense, and it really showed tonight.
So I guess when you know, I kept hearing that stat too. I thought he got one of those takedowns, but I guess they're not counting it.
No, you have to land on your ass basically, and
okay. So because
when you're thinking of Kattar
turned around, he turned
landed
on
his knees and stood back up.
That doesn't count, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. I was like, I thought that would be considered, but I guess not.
Yeah, no. But look, like I said, man, props to Dan Ige. He looked great. He does have a bright future. That is tough. Like, he might be a tweener, you know? He might be one of those guys. 135 is a real tough cut for him, so he's got to fight at 145. He does – what I think he would probably need to do is – I'd like to see him – because it sounds like he's training here in Hawaii with some local guys.
I think he trains out of Vegas, actually.
Okay, he trains out of Vegas?
I believe
I'd really like to
wrong,
go – yeah, doesn't matter to me. I'd like to see him go train with Daniel Cormier, Khabib. Like, go over to – that's American Top Team, right? I'm thinking of. No,
yes.
It's AKA.
No, you're thinking of AKA, yes.
Yeah. He needs to go to American Kickboxing Academy. Those guys have some of the high-level wrestlers, because if he can add in a strong wrestling game, like an even stronger wrestling game to the one he's got to his arsenal, I think he could be a stud. Like, he could hang at 145 if his takedowns were as high level as his boxing.
Yeah. No, you're probably 100% right. It just – I almost think he needs to be with the smaller guys, though. You know, it's kind of – but we'll see.
It just depends how – like, if he wants to stay up at that weight class, I'm just saying he's just got to be better with the wrestling, because if he comes against a guy – because eventually he's going to have to fight guys like Kattar, because you got to think
100%.
Volkanovski, he's a 145er, and he's elite level striker. Same with Max Holloway, elite level striker. You're going to want to use your jiu-jitsu to your advantage in the future.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, so I went 4 out of 5. Correct?
Yep,
and
that is correct.
And
I went 3 out of 2. And so that came down to Nick finished the season. Yeah, 3 and 2. Sorry, I meant to say, like, I got 3 right, 2 wrong.
Yes.
So Nick ends with a 29-22 record, and I end with a 28-23, giving Nick our first season victory. Little golfer clap right there.
You guys listen to me.
We'll be resetting the stats and starting again from scratch on this next fight card. Like we said, about every 50 fights, you know, I don't want to be like, oh, I got 264 right and 120 or whatever. It's going to take a lot to keep track of.
For sure. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. Please, as always, like and subscribe. We will be back tomorrow night for our picks for the upcoming
Joseph Benavidez and damn, I forgot the guy's name. I didn't get to see that original fight. You're gonna have to. What was that guy's name? Figueroa. That's his name.
Figueroa. Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with our picks for that fight card. There's a couple other fights on that card I'm actually excited for too. So I can't wait for that one now. But we will come back with you guys like always. It'll be a little late night for you guys in the mainland. We'll be back though. Check it out Friday morning for you guys. You know, have your picks in, and you have a day to take in what we got. But thank you so much. It was fun.
Remember, always talk about that Thick Boy Fight Club, guys. Until next time.
All right, guys. See you tomorrow.